It is now 13 minutes past 6. M&S announced it would close 100 of its stores over the next few years. In an hour's time, we're going to hear how much that is likely to cost and how the business is trading. Here's Dominic with that and the rest of the business.
Yes, thanks, Nick. M&S is speeding up and expanding its programme of store closures. This morning we'll get its full year financial results. We will find out how it's trading. Times have been very tough on the high street recently, and how much the store closure programme will cost. Kate Hardcastle is a retail analyst at Insight with Passion. She joins us from Leeds. And Stephen Springham is head of retail research at the property consultancy Knight Frank. Kate, if I could start with you, it's a common question that we've discussed a few times. Where has M&S gone wrong? Where has it lost its shoppers?
They've detached from their shoppers. They've not listened to them. And basically, as an organisation, they're thinking far too much from the inside out. And the consumers are coming to them. They're loyal. They have a very unique relationship with Marks and Spencer's. 30 million customers, and many of them over 35, wanting relevant fashion, relevant products for them to enjoy and live for life today. We were promised a relevant Marks and Spencer's in January by Steve Rowe, one that was fashion oriented, one that had exciting, vibrant shop floors. And the challenge is, even when they commit to making changes to the business, no green shoots really show through.
I think this is the problem. We've been promised a relevant new Marks and Spencer's by four successive management teams. It's all very well closing stores. What do you think they need to put inside them?
I think they've got to make sure that the offer is streamlined. There's far too much of it. And I think they really need to kick through with, if they are going to still have traditional retail outlets, what to do to make those stores engaging and relevant to their customers. I don't know what sort of vanity success measures they're giving themselves internally if they think they're actually becoming digital first as an organisation. But it's truly not the case. Consumers still write to me on a very regular basis after features like this, expressing their frustration at not having the right stock levels, the sizes, the quality dipping, the prices not being competitive in a marketplace with brands like Primark. So they have to get on with the job, which is working out what they do best, getting those basics in place, and making the stores and their online a very relevant and vibrant place for their customers to shop.
Just stay there for a minute, Kate. I'd like to bring in Stephen Springham, who's with the property consultancy Knight Frank. Stephen, just looking at the stores they've said they'll close, they gave us a list, not of all of them, but most of them yesterday. Is there any unifying theme? Some of the commentary was that they were moving from town centres, from high streets to out-of-town sites. Looking at that list, do you buy that line?
It's a real mixed bag of a list. I mean, there's some high street stores there, there's some shopping centre stores there, there's an outlet store, there's also an out-of-town store. So I think it's very hard to sort of draw any conclusions from the type of stores they're closing, other than the fact they're underperforming and they're not really fit for purpose.
Because some of these stores are actually very old, 40, 50 years old, aren't they?
Well, this is one of M&S's problems. It's got a very dated portfolio. Some of those stores, I mean, they might be even older than that, possibly even sort of 70, 80, 90 years old, a lot can change within that time frame, and a lot has changed. And so really what this whole process is about is making that business or the store portfolio fit for purpose.
It does throw up a bigger question, doesn't it? Because we've had problems with Maplin's, Toys R Us, both went out of administration. Lots of other retailers, Carpetright, Mothercare, are closing shops as Marks and Spencer is. What do councils do in the face of their high streets suddenly emptying out? Because this is one of the biggest money spinners for councils that there is, business rates.
Yeah, it's hard to sort of see what councils can do. I mean, they won't own necessarily a lot of the real estate within these locations, but obviously they do fall under their jurisdiction, and obviously they don't want to see vacancy rates spiralling. I mean, with the likes of M&S, obviously if they leave town, those stores can be large, as we've seen with BHS in the past as well. Very problematic to bring back to the market. And
just explain to us what's going on, this thing called a CVA, a Creditors Voluntary Arrangement. What is it, and how are some retailers using it?
I mean, it's very, very controversial in the property world. The process is it's effectively a sort of step above administration, if you like. So if retailers, it's conceived of if retailers are under genuine distress, but relieving of some of their liabilities, particularly their property liabilities.
So you go to the landlord and say, "Listen, I'll keep the store open if you cut the rent by a quarter," say.
Yes, or it's in theory. This is where there are a lot of grey areas. It's supposed to reflect genuine distress, and retailers do go to landlords and ask for rent reductions and seek to sort of get out of some of their more problematic stores. Where it becomes controversial is where there's question marks over the level of that distress.
It might just be a quick get out of jail free card.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and Next retailer, we reported in the Sunday Times last weekend, is actually going around to its landlords and saying, look, if you've given someone a CVA, we want the same rent reduction. We're not going to have this subsidised competition.
Absolutely. I mean, this is another of the controversial aspects of CVAs. It's not just the retailer in question. It's a sort of collateral damage across the rest of the high street, because effectively Next is saying, well, why are we being penalised for being successful?
Kate, if I could just come back to you, the other thing that M&S said yesterday was that it wanted 1/3 of its sales online. This is the key, isn't it, really, whether M&S can make that transition online?
Absolutely. Marks and Spencer's customers are happy to shop both ways, but what they want to see are inspirational products that lead them to purchase in either of those environments, and currently they don't. They really need to engage once and for all with their customers and be respectful enough to their loyalty to actually deliver them what they're looking for. It's very difficult online when it's a very clear and basic process, very transparent in terms of your costing, to be wowed into buying anything. So when their prices aren't looking good against the competition, it's easy to shop elsewhere.
Thank you very much, Kate Hardcastle from Insight with Passion, and Stephen Springham from Knight Frank. My markets